Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I am Jimmy J, and today we're going to talk about a forbidden subject for me. Uh, was a forbidden subject anyway. So I want to discuss how I found out I was a witch and what that really means. And I want to say something that might make some people pause, and that is, I'm a witch, y'all. I was so excited. You know how hard that was for me to say that? Normally I test things out with my daughter first, and I didn't get a reaction that I thought I was going to get. Actually, I got a good reaction. So I was like, nah, if she all right with it, okay, then hey, I'm good. Now, for a long time, I couldn't say that word out loud, as I stated. And it wasn't because I wasn't one, but because I was afraid of what it meant to other people. I was raised as Baptist, and in the Deep South, witch was a bad word, something you ran from. But when the calling is real, it doesn't go away just because you're scared of it. And it wasn't that I was scared of it, I was more like taught that that was bad. You know, the old things that people used to say about witches, and even to this day, even though they know that it's not true, they still think about, witches are bad, witches are evil, you worship the devil, you doing dark stuff. But the more I learned, the more I realized I had always been walking this path. And the word witch it just gave a name to what my soul was already doing. Now wait before you click off and assume this is something dark or evil. Give me a chance, let me explain. I mean, you're here anyway, right? Thank you for being here, by the way. Now, we all know a witch is not the scary image that we were taught to fear. Being a witch doesn't mean I do harm. It doesn't mean I worship anything dark. And it doesn't mean I try to control people. Even if I had that power, I wouldn't. I don't want to control anybody. I'm a true believer in free will. A witch, in the oldest sense of the word, is someone who works with nature, with energy and spirit. Someone who heals, listens, and sees. Someone who remembers. Hey, there are good, of course, there are good. There are good and bad people in every walk of life. There are good pastors, bad pastors, good teachers, harmful teachers. Being a witch just means I've chosen to honor my gifts and walk in alignment with them. Now, trust and believe me, I did not choose this path to be trendy. I didn't even want it at first. I denied it. But the signs kept coming. I had built an altar without knowing that it was an altar. I worked with herbs because I wanted to help my family, not because I thought it was magic. Never crossed my mind. I read tarot because it came natural, not because someone taught me. When I started researching just to understand what I was feeling or what was calling to me deep down in my soul, I found out I wasn't just one kind of witch. I was like, wait, I'm this, I'm what, I'm hot. I was actually three. Three. And I want to explain what that means because maybe it'll help someone else make sense of their own walk too. First, I'm what's called a plant witch or a green witch. And what that means is I work with the energy of herbs, teas, flowers, and oils. I was drawn to the healing benefits of plants before I ever knew it was called witchcraft. I would have never touched it if I knew that because of my limited beliefs before. I kept an herbal journal. Actually, I got several. I blended teas and tinctures to help people feel better. Later, I learned that the way I moved with intentions, with reverence, with knowing was a form of magic, not fantasy, just plain old energy. And we all have that. The next witch I found out I was called a ceremonial witch. And that means I just don't throw things together. I move in sacred timing. I build my rituals with care. I don't do things just to do them. I honor them. That's what ceremonial magic is. It's structure and it's alignment. It's treating your spiritual work with the same sacredness you'd give a prayer or fasting, which I also do. Now, I was into tarot way before COVID, way before spiritual path, way before I even knew there was a divination witch that existed. So for me, this really hit home. It fell into place. That means I receive messages through cards, dreams, symbols, energy. I don't just read tarot, people. I interpret what's not being said. It is so funny. I'm smiling because I'm like, it's so funny because when I explain how I am and how I I talk to people, I try to let them know that it's not what you said, it's what you didn't say. You ever heard of that read between the lines? I literally go off of your energy and what you didn't say. Now that makes a lot of people mad because they're like, well, I didn't say that. You put words in my mouth. No, I'm not putting anything in your mouth. I'm simply saying what spirit, your ancestors, your energy is telling me. Now I don't know if you're trying to convince yourself or you're trying to convince me, but I read what you don't say. I've always had to explain that to people. And I'm now finally happy because now it makes sense to me. And I guess I can explain it just a little bit better to people. So again, I interpret what's not being said. I feel the truth people can't speak. That's a good way of putting it. I've always known things before they happen. I've always felt people's energy deeply, too deeply. I didn't understand that as a gift before, but now I do. I'm not guessing, I'm not performing, I'm translating. Like literally translating. I'm so excited. A lot of people ask, can you really be more than one kind of witch? And me finding this out, I'm like, well, can I be three witches? How can you be three witches? And what do you call it? And I found out the answer is yes. Because you don't choose your gifts, they come to you. And they do. They come to you. Even now, I still get gifts. Yeah, I don't use some of them. That's for personal reasons. But they still come to me. I didn't pick these things like titles. I wish I discovered them as I began to pay attention to how I moved in this world. I'm not boxed into one label. I've never been, and I never will be. I'm living a blend of all three: a healer, a guide, a ritualist. All those parts of me live in harmony now. Because I know what I am. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Now, I share this not to convince anyone. No, that's impossible. But to speak the truth, I was need to hear. I did, and I couldn't find the answers. I had to find the answers on my own. I had to be at peace with the answers that I received. And I'm not here to convince anybody who may be walking down that path or trying to figure out what they are. Now, if you're out there and you feel like something in you has always been different, like you know things or you feel energy or you even see signs, don't don't dismiss it. Don't do that, because you're not crazy, you're not evil, you're not making it up. You're remembering who you've always been. And when you're ready to name it, your path will meet you there. So, guys, this is me, Julia J. A witch. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this experience with me. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more information, personal vlogs, poetry from Julia J. I love you guys. Namaste.